each other through it. Come on and see, good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. Today, we're talking about something that has come up in a couple of conversations recently, which shouldn't be shocking if you are an avid listener of this podcast. That's where most of the topics come from, is real life conversations or situations or what have you. And today's topic is the Good Movement Framework. And you might be thinking, well, how did the Good Movement Framework come up in conversation that specifically? And it didn't. It did not specifically come up in conversation. What did come up in conversation is communication. And in visiting with a couple of different people, it came up that they were trying to improve their communication and even sought out help to improve their communication, and it just didn't work. And in one case, it made it a little worse in the relationships that they were in, that they were trying to improve this communication. Because, in my opinion, some steps were skipped. So they went directly to, how do I say this? What can I say here? Here's how you ask questions, without ever getting to the root of things. And by the root of things, I mean self-awareness. So the Good Movement Framework that I've come up with is first self-awareness. It all begins with you, with us as individuals. Self-awareness. Then the second step is social awareness. And the third step is putting the two first steps together, self-awareness, social awareness, and then communicating. And this is something that I'm diving deep into. In February was the first one. March will be the second one. April will be the third and final one. But we're diving deeper into each one of these steps in the draw with some tangible tools to help improve your self-awareness, your social awareness, and your communication. But if you're not familiar with the draw, if you're like, what the crap is the draw? The draw is private podcast. So you pay a small fee, you get longer form episode and a shorter companion episode every month. We go into a topic. Then I provide tools and exercises and journal prompts. And there's a downloadable PDF each month. It comes out the first of the month, every month, different topic each month. It is for people who want to dive deeper than this cast pod and aren't quite ready to come see me in one-on-one guidance or see someone else for guidance. So that is what the draw is, if you aren't familiar. But here recently, we've been discussing the Good Movement Framework, which starts with self-awareness. And so in these conversations that I've been having where people are like, I sought out help for communication. They gave me these tools. I entered the conversation or tried to communicate in the ways that they were teaching me, and it didn't work, or it made things worse. In my opinion, is because the self-awareness piece was skipped. So we can have all kinds of tools for communicating in tone and what to say and, what to ask and all of these things. And if we haven't stopped to get aware of how we are responding, what shapes those responses, why we react the way we do, how our tone is received by other people, what is at the root of our reactions, the communication may not improve with just the tools sans self-awareness. Self-awareness is so incredibly important, and I kind of think it gets a bad rap. Some people might think that self-awareness and self-centeredness are synonymous, and they are not. They are not. True self-awareness is understanding the way that you are wired, the way that your nervous system is set up, and how you respond and react, and why somebody saying this thing makes you feel this way. And it's not to be used to be like, well, that's the way I am, and that's just how it's going to be, and you're going to have to deal with it. That is not self-awareness. I mean, you can be aware of it and behave that way, but that is not how we should use self-awareness if we want to improve communication and improve our relationships and grow stronger connections. And it makes me really sad when I hear, like, I've really been working on my communication and I even went to someone for help and it's worse now than it's ever been. And then I find out that there were things that were kind of missing. So, in the good movement framework, again, like I said, in the draw, we go deeper into this. But when we're talking about good movement from cattle handling perspective, a stockmanship perspective, which is where this all started. If you're not familiar with good movement, draws good movement, and what that means, I think like it's episode 2 or 3, I go into the story. So you can go back and listen to that. But when we're talking about it from human to bovine interaction place, you have to be aware of yourself, your energy, what you're bringing to the table first. Cattle do not speak English. And even with humans who do speak English, your tone and your vibe and your energy make a huge difference. So self-awareness has to come first because those things, the tone, the energy, the vibe, we can perceive those without words. And if it differs from the words coming out of your mouth, like people know that. Animals know that. So the first thing, be aware of yourself. The second step is social awareness, which when we're talking about human to bovine interactions is being aware of what the cattle are telling you. The other day, we're driving down the road and the cows were looking in a certain direction. And I was like, I wonder what they're looking at. And so I looked over in that direction and there are 2 big fluffy coyotes. Like reading the animal's body language can tell you so much, especially when they can't speak English. So when we're talking about humans to bovines, you're looking for body language. Is her head up? Are her eyes wide? Is her body tense? Or is she bent down grazing? Is she chill? Is she relaxed? Same thing with humans. You can pick up on that body language and the energy that they're bringing. And then you can put those 2 things together. You can be aware of what you're saying, what you're doing, and how the other person is responding to you. So you're aware of it. That's self-awareness. You're cognizant of how the other person is receiving it and how they're responding or reacting to it. That's social awareness. You can take those 2 things with some reflection, put them together, and get effective communication. What that looks like when we're talking about human to bovine stockmanship is these animals let me walk through them calmly and quietly, which is what I was looking for. I brought my energy down and what I communicated to them, or they moved through the gate in the direction that I was asking. And it was low stress and all of that. Now, with humans, it's a little more complicated because, cattle do not experience emotion the same way that we humans do. And there's all kinds of things that shape our perspectives and inform how our nervous systems are set up and how we respond and react to things. But using self-awareness and social awareness to inform how you communicate with other people, you might not come out of a conversation in total agreement, but you can come out of a conversation disagreeing and fully respecting and having grace for each other. And that is a win. That's a huge win. And so that is why it rubs me the wrong way when I hear about people who they did the things and they sought out the help and it didn't work out the way they wanted it to. And part of that too, good movement starts with us, with self-awareness. That is the first step. Now, with that self-awareness, with that social awareness, this is a very high level episode here, and we could get into when to set boundaries and when to step away and all of those things, because even with the self-awareness and the social awareness and putting it all together for effective communication, sometimes that's what it comes to. I have a friend who employed self-awareness and social awareness and put it all together and was never communicating better with her husband. And because of that good communication, they made the decision to divorce. And so it's not necessarily about things turning out the way that you want them to when we're talking about communication. It's about keeping the stress level low. It's about having regulated nervous systems entering into the conversation and the communication so that you can move through and not be escalated and angry and even more dysregulated than you were before you entered the conversation. Effective communication starts with us, with self-awareness. And if you would like, again, to dive deeper into this and get some tangible tools and exercises to help you with each step in my Good Movement framework, please visit the link in the show notes and join me in the draw. And with that, until next time, draw good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.